Let me just introduce myself. I'm Rob, if you don't know. This is Acorn to Icon, and it is a very special day today. Not only is it our first in a line of interviews with up-and-coming amazing artists. I like to call it informal chats rather than interviews. But this is our first ever guest now, and I can't stress this enough. She's super talented. She's multilingual, multi-talented. She's beautiful. She's a singer, songwriter, producer, actress, model, and there's literally no end to the talents. So, I want to welcome to you. I'm going to invite her on now. I've never done this before, so I'm going to have to touch the screen and stuff so I get this right. I'm going to introduce to you now the amazing, there she is, the amazing, multi-talented, there she is, Jasmine Ortiz. Ladies and gentlemen, when she accepts the invite.
How are you doing? Thank you so much for having me on today.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Listen, we're here to introduce you to the UK and the UK people because Jacqueline, your PR, she got in touch with us, and I'm just going to leave that there because it keeps falling over. Shout out to Jacqueline, by the way, who introduced you to us. Yeah, massive shout out. And I'd seen a couple of little posts about you, but that's the first I'd seen you. And then I had a little look about, do you know what I mean? See what you were about. And then she asked me if we'd like to do a little interview with you. And I checked you out and stuff like that. And I thought, that's not a little interview. That is not a real... Have you seen this girl's numbers? And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And so I am actually honoured to have you on here with us. So,
oh, well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you taking the time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so like I said before, I've not really heard of you. But you're in America, in Miami, right?
Yes, I'm in Miami, Florida.
You've been obviously concentrating on the American market and just establishing yourself there, yeah.
Yes.
So what basically we're bringing you over here, and I just want to know about yourself at the moment, and anyone that's just listening in now who's from the UK, what you're about, who you are, and where do you stem from, what your influences are. So I'm just gonna let you have a little chat about yourself and kind of introduce yourself. I don't want to, because I've read so much about you. I've done so much research. It's unbelievable. And I've just been like that. Everything I've looked at, what I've read about you, I've just been like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Because you are incredibly talented. And that's not even a little bit of a lie. Do you know what I mean? That is just who you are. You are just so talented through. But anyway, I'm going to let you just explain to people who you are and why you're here. Well, not why you're here, but just who you are.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for having me on today. You know, I have been doing music since I was really young. I started playing piano when I was 3, guitar when I was 9. I probably wrote my first song somewhere in between. I think I was around 8 when I wrote my first song and kind of started understanding what song form was like. But it's always been a calling for me. It's always been what I wanted to do. And then from that point, my interests have just specified and kind of spread out from there. I've just always known I had a passion for music. So I went to a performing arts high school where I majored in jazz guitar and classical piano. And that really taught me the discipline necessary to succeed in this industry, really focusing on my academic work between math, science, history classes, in addition to double majoring in high school, similar to what a college student would do at the higher education level. So that just taught me how to really time manage. And that has been invaluable for me moving into college and getting a music degree now, and really also focusing on my career as a professional musician.
Right. So I noticed you mentioned there about the dedication that you need. Um, Obviously, that's important to you, and that's something that you really need. Um, your family, they were obviously a big influence because I have read about your family, your parents, the musical as well. And did you grew up like you're doing kind of pop music now, but
Yes.
you grew up in a kind of a rock influence, didn't you?
Yeah, so well, my mom worked with Latin music artists for several years at Sony, so she has a lot of history in the Latin market. My dad worked in the Latin market as well and in the hip hop market. So I grew up with those influences, and then me myself, my mom was a punk rocker in the 80s and 90s, super into bands like the Sex Pistols, just a bunch of things like that. The Circle Jerks. She was super into the underground punk scene in New York City in the 90s. So she kind of taught me all of those influences. And then when I was growing up, I was into a lot of the late 90s grunge bands, Nirvana, Radiohead.
I knew you were
I
going to
just,
say Nirvana first.
of course, everyone says Nirvana first. They're like the most mainstream, but
Yeah.
I do know like underground Nirvana songs. Like my band in high school performed School live, which is like a really unknown Nirvana song. Um,
Really?
yeah, school it goes like
I
yeah,
know
that's
that
like
one, yeah.
that's the main lick of School. But yeah, I love those bands so much. And then when I got into later high school, I really started exploring post-hardcore music and metal and just like harder genres. I was a huge fan of Pierce the Veil for a lot of high school. And then I was in a rock band myself, so we kind of toured locally and I managed us. So that gave me a lot of performance experience, a lot of experience dealing with booking agents, a lot of experience just coordinating rehearsals, writing songs together, and collaborating really.
So you've been basically learning about the business at a young age as well, rather than just the music side of things.
Exactly, yeah. And now in college, I have a music business minor. So I'm learning about copyright law, music business agreements, split sheets, recording budgets, just the moving parts that really go into the behind the scenes of the industry.
And do you think that, well, obviously it does help, but do you think if you didn't have that, you wouldn't be kind of as business minded or know where to go next? Because I'm thinking of like, do you know what I mean? There's young artists watching now, or people aspiring to be artists now, and they could be like, you could be a massive influence for them because you know that it's called the music business for a reason, isn't it? Really, and
Yeah.
it's not just. Unfortunately, it's not just all about the music, is it? It's you do have to get a bit savvy with what's going on because there's a lot of people you can get ripped off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Easily ripped off. Do
absolutely.
you know what I mean? There's so many people who are in it just to give artists a bit of clout and then they just clean them out. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
obviously that yeah, it does help. And would you put that to young people that you need to learn? Would you put that as a sort of secondary to learn that kind of as a main example of music now?
Yeah, I would absolutely say that if you're trying to become an artist in this industry, learn the business side of things. You can be the most incredible musician in the world and not know how to break through if you make the wrong choices, if you sign the wrong deal, if you're just around the wrong team. All of those things can make or break you as an artist. And a lot of things in this industry are about what you know and who you know. So it's extremely important to network. I have literally been so grateful to my parents to helping me network and kind of showing me the ropes of that. And, you know, reaching out through social media platforms has been super lucrative for me to get to know other young creatives, other producers, cinematographers, clothing designers, just all these people who I've been collaborating with over the past few months, I connected with through social media. So that can be a huge tool as well. Use that to your benefit and networking. Just, you know, go on your favorite artist page, see some people that they're following. And if it's someone that's not verified or someone who's lesser known, it might be their manager, it might be their best friend, it might be a clothing label, it might be someone who you could reach out to for a partnership or for advice. And that's super, super important. So make sure that you have people around you who can act as industry mentors, because really without that, you're kind of going at it in the dark, and that can be super intimidating. So before I really had this experience and knowledge, I had no idea what the business was like. I really didn't know what I was doing. And over the past 4 years, I've really just dived in head first and learned everything that I could learn about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's important. I'm glad you said all that, because a lot of people who are starting out now, they won't have a clue, and it's not like an embarrassment to not know what you're doing, but it does help that other artists are coming along and helping people. Just giving a little bit of advice without asking for anything. Do you know what I mean? So I appreciate you doing that. But do you know what? I'm really sorry. I have to keep touching this screen. There's a setting on it where it just keeps going dark, like it's going to go off. So I'm not going to be able to see you at all. So if you keep touching it, I'm not trying to poke you or anything like that.
It's okay.
Right. I want to get on to your single now, because, like I said, I heard that, and it is a catchy AF song, by the way.
Thank you.
It is amazing. But before I get onto that, I do want to get onto because you've got over 1 million views on that song, haven't you, in like 3 weeks or something stupid like that. And
yeah.
But that's not the only song that it's not like you're like, oh, I've got 1 million. You've got 1 million on a few of your songs, like over 1 million on a few of your songs. But one song that did interest me, and especially the video, was Trick or Treat.
Yes, that
I
one
want
was
to
so
know
much fun.
who came up with the concept for that video. Were it you who came up with that, or?
Okay, so my mom and I actually co-produced that music video together. And when I wrote the song, I had some idea of kind of what I wanted to do for it. I knew I wanted spooky visuals, something creepy, very Halloween based. But then together we came up with the concept of modeling famous horror movies like Psycho, It, and The Shining. And that's really where the breakthrough happened. And we were like, oh my gosh, like there's so many possibilities here for what we can do visually. I got all my best friends on board to be different characters in the video, either my entourage of trick-or-treaters or even horror movie characters themselves. So that was super fun to film. My mom and I basically came up with the whole concept. We sourced all the wardrobe over a period of 2 weeks. And then we had one of my favorite makeup artists ever, Diamond K, the MUA. She's someone I've been working with since I was 16. She did the hair and makeup on the shoot, and it was incredible.
Whoever's watching now, go on to watch Trick or Treat. You'll love the video. It's amazing. It's tongue in cheek as well. It's not like horror as in horror. Do you know what I mean? It's not like
it's funny.
Scary.
It's supposed to be funny. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. This is what I was gonna say. Do you know what? This is doing my head in this thing. Yeah, the thing what I'm gonna say is the Shining bit where you put your heads through. Do you know when he goes with the axe and that?
The axe, yeah.
The funniest bit about that, it wasn't him with the axe. It wasn't you with the axe. It was the behind the door bit with her. That was I was in a stitch. You looked literally scared. You looked you looked scared of yourself.
Yeah, no, it was so
scared
much
of yourself.
fun.
And that's some good acting. That do you mean? Because there's no speaking parts, is there? And that part was just just amazed me.
Thank you. Yeah, it was so much fun. My best friend, Lexi, she actually was the person I was going after with the axe. She was also the girl in the shower.
Was that not you?
No, it wasn't me. It was my friend. Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, she was amazing. She was amazing. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm praising your acting, and it's your friend.
I had to swing the axe. That was good enough.
That looked like you enjoyed that a bit too much.
I did enjoy it.
Swinging an axe around.
It was fun.
So, cherry on top. What are the influences about that? Because I watched the video, and obviously it's very pop. Yeah.
Yes.
who are your influences from either your songs or your videos? I know this is kind of a boring question, is what everyone asks you, but I want to know not just about the song, but the videos itself as well. But what are your influences? Because it's this really brightly coloured pop sort of. It's really nice, happy vibe. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes.
because I do know. What's this? I wrote this down somewhere. I've got that many sheets of scrap paper with stuff on. Right, the producer of your song "Cherry on Top." I'm gonna get his name wrong now.
Trackdilla. Trackdilla.
Trackdilla. That's it.
Yes.
God damn. Yeah. Because he's a bit of he's a big gamer, isn't he? Because
yes.
I know about him. He's done some of Post Malone's work, has he?
Yes, he's done some of Post Malone and Tyga's work. He's also signed to the same manager, Dre London. So they work together frequently.
Yeah. Right. Wow, that's cool. So you've got to meet him, obviously.
Yes, we've worked together in the studio a couple times.
Like
he's
pals,
awesome.
Like, are you like pals, friends?
Yes, he's an awesome person. He's definitely someone I would consider a mentor and a huge influence. I think he's so talented as a producer and an artist. He's also an artist as well. And we have another song that we just did together, collaboratively as artists.
Oh, right. Okay, what's that? Is that out now or is it coming soon?
No, it's not out yet. It's still
Are we
in
allowed to
production.
have a little?
Not yet. But, it's cool. It's a different vibe entirely.
Yeah. All right. So instead of just going with the same flow, you're gonna switch things up and.
I think my next few singles are definitely very pop. They're definitely the sound that I want to be bringing forward. But I'm still going to be touching back on my Latin roots every once in a while and throwing in some Spanish into my songs.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about. That is because obviously you did start doing sort of Latin urban stuff, didn't you?
Yes.
Is because you were doing that now. You've kind of made your niche with pop.
Yes.
Would you be going to? Do you know when you get more established and everyone knows you and loves you? Would you be wanting to bring a little bit more of that Latin urban stuff back into it, or which would you prefer to do? Like generally, if as an artist, which would you feel most happiest doing? Would you feel happy doing the pop, or more comfortable going back to the Latin urban stuff?
I mean, I loved when I was doing the Latin urban music. It was an amazing way for me to connect to my culture, my roots as a Latina. And I also love speaking Spanish because I grew up speaking it with my grandma at home. So it felt very comfortable to me. But I do love living right now in the pop world. And I feel super comfortable and confident as a songwriter in pop music. So I definitely see myself incorporating all the things that I've learned about the Latin market throughout the course of my career. I definitely see myself incorporating those rhythms, those vibes, those lyrical ideas into future music. But right now, I definitely want to establish myself in the pop world first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because the market's open, because there used to be like Jennifer Lopez and Shakira, and they're not really around anymore. So do you mean there's a little gap to be filled there? Do you know what I mean? You
Definitely, yeah.
Go in there and blow up, and do you know what I mean? But do you know what? I've just seen Trackdilla's name on here now, because I am looking at stuff. Right, okay. I'm cheating, but this is my first interview. So
it's okay, you're doing great.
You've kind of broken my cherry with the interview. You see what I did there? Did you see?
I see what you did. That was a good one.
Right, it was a good one. There's gonna be no more as fast as that. Right, right. I do have notes, like I say. So I'm not. Oh, we should stop doing that. I'm not going to be like. Actually, this is a little quiz I wanted to do with you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We've got a couple of your songs. We're gonna see how many of your songs that you actually know, like remember. Because I know. Because I
like the lyrics.
This is lyrical. Yeah.
Okay. This is fun.
Okay, are you ready? There's only like 2 of them, so don't worry.
Okay.
It's not going to be a long list of them, and you're like, oh my god. Okay, right. And we're not like choosing Cherry on Top. We're not going to go because that's current. You know it, don't you? Inside. Yeah. Right. Okay. So this one is every night I stare at the moon out my window and dream of your bright eyes.
That's miles away.
That's miles away. It is right, yeah, but what's the next lyric?
Oh, every night I
You're not allowed to
stare
sing.
at the
I shouldn't know.
moon
Yeah,
at my
sing it, yeah.
window and dream of your bright eyes every day. I think of your arms wrapped around me, feeling so safe, and now I know that when far across the globe I'll be there for you.
Brilliant.
And
We've got
you'll
an
be
acapella
there
from you.
for me too.
Oh,
There we go.
shut up
I
now.
did it. I did it.
You got some.
Maybe
Cut that
one
word.
word. Maybe one word was missing.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. I used to remember forget full verses when I sang. That is, yeah, you're right. That's Miles Way featuring Ju7. I'm right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you do another version of that in English, Chinese, and Mandarin.
Yes.
How?
Yes, I do. So I studied Mandarin for a few years when I was in middle school. I took it at a local community college, and it was a super immersive program. We would learn how to read, write, and pronounce different words in Mandarin. So I have been brushing up again recently on Duolingo, just kind of getting it up again. But yeah, so I still remember all the basics, just the four tones, pronunciation of things, the direction of the strokes that you have to write, and when you write out characters. It's a very complex language, and it's really beautiful.
So not only can you speak it, but you can write it as well.
Yes, I
Wow.
was more proficient writing it when I was taking the courses, of course, but I still recognize a bunch of the characters that I've learned.
Yeah. So Mandarin is that Oriental? That is that similar?
It's Chinese. It's
Chinese, yeah.
the main language of China.
Oh right. Okay. All right. I have got another song. Yeah.
Uh-oh,
Oh.
uh-oh.
Okay. You had me in a trance. I couldn't leave, losing track of time in make believe.
You had me in a trance, I can't believe, losing track of time in make believe, caught up with your lies and na na. I forgot.
Oh, we got you. We got you.
I know it's making me sick. I know the song.
I bet you know it in Mandarin, don't you?
We'll do a quick translation.
Go quickly Google Translate.
Yeah.
Right, I'll give you it. It's you had me in a trance. I couldn't leave. I'm not going to sing it because I don't sing as well as you. Losing track of time in make believe. Fed it with your lies. I should have seen every little
sign in front of me.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
That
I
is
needed
making
that
me
little
sick.
bridge. I said something about lies, but I didn't know the second half. I should have seen every little sign in front of me. There we go.
That's the one. That's the one. But we're not gonna judge you for that. It happens. This stuff happens. You haven't sung a song for a while.
Sometimes it happens on stage. Hopefully not.
Well, that's the thing, because I don't know what the pandemic, like in the UK, the pandemic is just like crazy at the moment. We are looking at future relaxations on it all. But what's it been like over there? Have you been able to tour or gig or anything much?
No, everything's pretty much been shut down the past year. The only performances I've been able to do have been online or virtual over Zoom. So it's been really hard, but I have been taking dance classes, just trying to, up my performance game. So when things do open up, I'm really excited to perform.
That's cool. So what do you think about obviously with the lockdowns and everything, there's a lot of people sort of reverted to going online and performing like in the rooms or something like that. But when the lockdowns are over, like I don't know what you think, but I'm hoping, because I don't know about where you are, but in the UK, I know for a fact live music seemed to be just going down. This was before it all happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, live music just seemed to be going down, and no one were going out anymore. No one going to see a live gig. Do you know what I mean? There were the hardcore people who just loved going to see bands and stuff like that. And it was just slowing down. Do you think after everything like this is all over, people will realise that, wow, I missed live music so much, and it'll get them back into it, and just everyone will be out there going to see?
Yeah, I definitely think this is going to cause a huge resurgence of you know, people just going out and doing anything and everything they can, whether that's live music or going to the movies or going to a club or a bar or a restaurant. I think we're going to see a huge boost of support for live entertainment as soon as we're out of this, because people are so fed up with being in their homes. They're tired, drained from lockdowns. So I think it'll really be what kind of, you know, helps us recharge after this insane period of time. And I
Yeah,
hope to see many small music venues survive this time period, because I know that they're really struggling right now. And I know some of my own favorite venues are maybe not able to reopen because they haven't had financial support in almost a year. So I
yeah.
really hope to see that success and support of small businesses and small entertainment venues when we come out of this.
That's what happened here in UK. There were even before all this happened, because the live music scene were just dwindling. A lot of
Yeah.
the biggest venues. I'm from a little place in Yorkshire called Leeds. I doubt you've heard of it, but
I've heard of Yorkshire.
have you heard of Yorkshire? Oh
Yes.
wow, that's where I'm from. That's why. I was gonna say to you, if you have any difficulties with my accent, just let me
No.
know, because
No,
it's okay.
I'm really good at understanding British accents because I'm really good at doing one.
Really? Oh, come on, you've got to show us this now then. Which
At least I think I'm pretty good. I don't know if I'm actually convincing, but I know in middle school people used to get convinced that I was from London. I think it was better then because I would listen to Hermione Granger speak incessantly, and I would literally mimic her for hours or days at a time. It was kind of insane. Uh, and I now kind of range between like Cockney and Londoner, but back then I was way more Londoner, like Hermione. And really, the Harry Potter series inspired me to become obsessed with England all throughout middle school. So
that's
there's my
brilliant.
accent.
That is brilliant. You're just off the cuff, aren't you? You're just like, there's nothing you can't do. That is better than my English accent. My English accent is not as good as that. I'm not good. I'm actually disappointed with myself. I think just ruined my day, to be honest. You've got to learn a Yorkshire accent. Next time we interview you, we want to see you doing a Yorkshire accent.
Okay, I have to study it a little bit more, but I promise I'll get back to you with the Yorkshire accent.
That's great. I'll be looking forward to hearing that. How was that? Was that a good accent?
Yes.
I didn't say a great deal, but I didn't want to.
It was good. It was good. I heard the American twang.
Which part of America was it? Because America's got so many different accents with different parts.
Yeah.
I know you live in Miami, but you're originally from New York, are you?
New York
Is
and
that right?
Pennsylvania. Yeah, so my accent is one of the most neutral American accents. The Middle Atlantic region has a very neutral accent, but then if you get into certain boroughs of New York City, you can kind of get a New York accent like this. It's like a New York accent.
New York.
But then you can also get, I can get a Boston accent. Pop the car at Harvard Yard, and then they speak like this in Boston, and sometimes that goes all the way up through New Hampshire and Maine. You get a lot of that accent up in Maine, and then you go further south. I feel like DC area doesn't have much of an accent either. It's very similar to my own accent.
Sort
And
of a
then
non-accent, yeah.
yeah, then you go to Midwest, like Chicago. Like they open
Is
up
it
the
very
A's a
harsh
lot.
and
Yeah,
sort of
big A's.
abrupt?
So
Yeah.
I'm in Chicago and I'm going to the Bean. I don't know. It's an interesting, different regional dialect. And then in the South, of course, there's like a drawl. And then Florida doesn't have much of an accent. In Miami, there's a lot of like Spanish accents, just because of a lot of immigration from Cuba and South America.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. All over the country, it's different. And like Texas will have a different accent from Louisiana. And, Virginia will have a different accent from, West Virginia. It's interesting.
Wow, that's cool. Wow. We're learning about everything tonight, aren't we? We're not just talking music. We're talking. It won't be difficult for you to do in many accents anyway, really, because you can speak about 75 different languages. Like, so it's not like it'd be a surprise that you can do an English accent.
To be fair, I'm much better at English than Scottish or Australian. I cannot do Scottish or Australian. It's really hard for me.
You know what? I think Australians is probably the easiest to do.
Mm,
Yeah. Good night, mate. How you doing? I'm just gonna go down the bar. I got it wrong then. I'm
mm.
just gonna go down the pub and have a pint with the Sheila,
Oh,
and
you're
then
good at it.
we're
You're good
gonna have
at it.
some. We're gonna put some tube lager on the barbie.
I feel like from your own accent, it's a little bit closer than from mine,
What, my accent is closer to the Australian?
than the American one.
Do you think?
Yeah, I feel like going from American to Australian, it's a lot more specific inflections. Like I would have to
Yeah,
listen to it a
yeah,
lot more.
yeah. It's the flow. I think it's the flow, isn't it? It's sort of just
Yeah,
softly, sort of as you go. But American's a bit stabby.
yeah.
I love the American accent though. So what accent is your? Because it's not a New York accent, that is it?
No, no, it would be like Middle Atlantic region, I guess, just kind of basic American accent.
Right, right.
I feel like this is the accent that you hear on TV.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why a lot of people in England are good at accents, like American accents, because we see a lot of American TV. Whereas I
Yeah.
don't. What do you see? Do you see a lot of American? I mean, English TV in America,
Um, I mean, the original
apart from
Office,
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, the original Office,
The original
I'm
Office,
yeah, I'm trying to
which
think also watched some British comedies, but I can't really remember them, like what the name is, but I just love British humor in general. Like it's
yeah,
very cut and dry and I think it's hilarious.
yeah. A lot of Americans don't get our humour. I think we have this thing that they don't get irony. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I
I
don't.
love British humor. It's funny.
Right. Sorry, I had to flip my paper over then. Right. So, do you know, like, we've got English bands, obviously, UK bands. Uh, do you know many of them?
Bands, like up and coming
All
ones, or
bands,
do you
or
mean?
yeah, well, any, because like
I
we
mean,
get,
of
it's
course, I
like the
know the
TV,
Beatles, the Rolling
the
Stones.
Beatles. Yeah, well, I
I
know you like
mean,
them. Yeah, yeah,
of course, I know all the history, the British invasion, but and I don't know many current British artists though. I can't say that I do.
yeah. Because
Besides
not,
Harry Styles, One Direction.
everyone, I think everyone knows Harry Styles.
Everyone knows them, yeah.
I think it's like with TV. We get a lot of American TV over here, and we get a lot of American music. But it's like anywhere else. I think it's so tough to crack America if you're from anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Um, why?
I'm not
I'm
I'm
not
not
holding you
sure.
responsible for it all. I just wonder if there's a reason, like your insight into it, because Americans
Yeah.
just break UK like that.
Yeah,
Anyone tried it over there from here?
I yeah, I think it's really just because we have some of the largest entertainment hubs in the world, like with Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta. I think there's just a lot of things being produced over here. So we have the mechanisms already for world distribution. We have a huge population and like a really vast range of geographical areas. Like our entire country is so huge um, that it's kind of hard, I think, to reach everyone in that country unless you kind of know maybe some of the customs or what culturally is sticking right then. Um, and I think that can be difficult if you're coming from another country, but it isn't impossible. I mean, Canadians have done it a million times over. Canadians happen to be really successful in the
They're
US.
getting quite big, aren't they? Because there's Drake,
Yeah.
there's Justin Bieber, and I think that's all the Canadians I know.
There's a bunch of other actors as well from Canada that have been successful in the US, just like a bunch of crossover there. And I think there's a lot of potential for like English artists to break in America. I think it really just has to do with building up that younger fan base, like One Direction did, for example, and really like moving to LA, getting the Los Angeles connections, kind of ingraining yourself into the culture in order to be embraced. I think that's kind of a huge thing here.
So, would you be looking forward to? What is your like aim in what you're doing now with your music? Would you be like we're talking about UK music and American music? Would you love to like crack the UK? Would you like to break the UK and kind of tour over here and do everything like that? Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah, that would be a dream come true, honestly. I've always loved England. I've only been once. I went to London when I was 14, and
right,
yeah, I absolutely loved it. But I want to see more of the country. I have some friends over there, who I would love to see as well. And I think the culture is so awesome and so rich in history. You know, so much of the world has developed because of England. The United States wouldn't exist without England. There's just so many things historically that are interesting to me about your country. So I would absolutely love to break in the English market. And also just because I think our cultures are more similar than they are different. So
yeah.
I think there's a lot of like really cool crossover opportunities there too.
Of course, there's so many like with collaborations and stuff like that. Because you collaborate with a lot of people. Well, a fair few. You've collaborated with a fair few people. Is there
Yeah.
any? We said saying that you said you don't really know many UK artists at the moment, but is there anyone? Or we'll say American. Like, do you know? We're talking about the big wigs now, like
Okay.
the massive star. I want to know where you can picture yourself in like 3-5 years or something. And I want you to be totally obscene with it. I want to be like, where does this girl want to go? Does she want to be like, get Beyonce off stage, I'm coming on? What do you, what would you want to be like in 3 to 5 years? I want to know. Have you got? Would you be like just happy with? Oh, I'm happy just entertaining a few people and do you know what I mean, making a decent living off it? Or have you got that much like power, passion in you that you just want to just go as far as you can?
I mean, I don't know if this answers your question, but my high school senior quote was, "See you at the Grammys." So, so I think that answers your
That
question.
says it all, really, doesn't it? That's just yeah, that's totally answered my question, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
I
love the
definitely,
robbery.
as far as collaborations go, I really would love to work with, I mean, some of my favorite artists like Drake, Post Malone, Amine. I think all of them are incredibly talented, in different ways, and I think they have a lot of creativity that would be great to work with.
Post Malone, I love Post Malone.
He's incredible. And he
I
has rock influences as well. He puts guitars in his songs. He plays the guitar just like I do. So it's really, I think it'd be cool.
He's amazing, isn't it? It just does everything. Do you know what? It's just like the tone of his voice and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? I just love him, and I don't say that about many artists at all. Do you know what I mean? But it's just, and he's just such a nice guy as well, isn't he? He's just such a
Yeah,
lovely
he seems
guy.
super nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that time I'd seen a video where I think Jake Paul went to his house or something like that, or Logan Paul went to his house, um, and he just asked him if he wanted a beer and stuff like that. And it was like some
Yeah.
YouTuber comes up to your house and you just invite him in and said, "Do you want beer?" That'd be
That's
cool.
great. Yeah, he seems super down to earth.
So, what are you up to next? What is the next thing for Jasmine Ortiz?
Okay, so we're going to be filming a music video in the next couple of weeks for my next single. I cannot say the name yet, but I'm really excited about it. This is a song that was produced by Caesar the Emperor. He also works with Post Malone and Tyga and a bunch of other artists, under Dre London. So I co-wrote, well, I wrote, most of the lyrics and music for the song, and Caesar wrote all the production. So it was an amazing collaboration between the two of us. Just get those creative energies flowing, and I'm so excited about this song. It's really, to me, ushering in like a new era of my sound.
So the single's recorded and you're just doing the video next. Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So when we're looking to hear that,
Hopefully, end of March.
hopefully.
Yes.
You'll keep us updated though, yeah?
I will keep you updated.
Keep
Absolutely.
us
As soon as
updated.
I know, you will know.
Yeah, exactly. And we will definitely we'll share that about for you as well.
Awesome.
So we want you wish you. Do you know what? We want you wish you all the very best. I don't want to take too much of your time up because I just talk and ramble on.
Me too. It's okay.
But I don't want to take too much time. I want to just let you get on with your day. But it's been an absolute delight chatting with you. Thank you so much for coming on, and we wish you all the best in your music career and in just your journey of music and life. And
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
all and whoever's watching, just follow Jasmine Ortiz. Catch her on her YouTube channels. Catch her on Instagram. She's
Thank
going to be a big
you.
star. She's going to be a massive star
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you so
You're
much. You
welcome.
can find me at I am Jasmine Ortiz on all social media platforms.
There you go. That's where it needs to go. Right. Thank you so much for coming on, Jasmine. Jasmine. That's because of the Ortiz, because I've been saying it Ortiz. Do you know what I mean? For a while.
Yeah.
When I asked you the other day, and you went, yeah, it's pronounced Ortiz. So now I'm saying Jasmine.
Jasmine, yeah.
Jasmine. I'm getting confused. See, my English isn't good. I told you. I told you this. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Jasmine. We'll catch you soon. Everybody go follow Jasmine. Catch her new single Cherry on Top. It's on YouTube. It's smashing it at the moment. So get on that. And we will see you soon. Take care in a bit. See you, Jasmine. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Take care.
I had an amazing time.
Thank you. See you later.